All right, so now we're going to take an oil sample of our compressor here. In our kit, you'll get an information sheet that you'll need to fill out with the pertinent information about the customer as well as the machine. So we want to have that set aside. Also in the kit, you will get an oil sample bottle. When filling this up, make sure you fill it up to the fill line. And we want to cut a piece of clean oil sample tubing that can reach to the center of the oil level. So we'll remove our oil fill cap. We will insert our tubing. And we will pull out an oil sample. Again, being sure to fill up to the fill line. Then we will take our oil sample along with our information sheet that we filled out earlier and place it in the supplied bag to be shipped to the oil analysis lab. We're going to reinstall our oil fill cap. And get the unit ready to place back in service. Doosan recommends taking shock pulse measurements when you take your oil samples. We want to make sure that we get readings from both the male and female rotor and from the drive and non-drive side. Please be sure to get the correct measurement for your make and model air end. The drive rotor will always be in line with the main rotor. We also want to make sure that our machine is fully loaded and at max RPM for our measurements. I'll demonstrate here on this machine with it off. So this would be our non-drive male rotor. This would be our non-drive female rotor. This would be our drive side female rotor and our drive side male rotor. And be sure to record these measurements in your service log. So now we're going to blow out the cooler. We have an access panel here with 4 screws that we can remove and gain access to our cooler. Always want to make sure that we use clean, dry, compressed air and not to get too close to the fins that we fold them or bend any of them inside. And then we just tighten up the screws. So now we're getting ready to grease the main motor. We've already removed the rear cover, which is held on by 4 bolts, and we've already removed the guard for the coupler area so we can get access to our grease drain plugs. You'll find one of these on the bottom of the machine as well as one on the bearing cap cover. We want to remove those plugs and clean any of the old dried grease from that area. We also want to be sure to clean any grease off of the Zerk fittings before we fill with fresh grease. So we have our calibrated grease gun, and we're going to reference our operations manual for the proper amount of grease for each bearing. Once we've filled with grease, we'll go ahead and reassemble the machine and get it ready for service.